Good morning all together, and welcome back to round 2 of Cargo's Digital Trade Flow event here in Dubai. Good to have you back in the room and back on the stream. For those on the stream, don't forget to comment and like, please. And so this morning, yesterday, we went from concept and strategy to implementation. This morning, we went to reality, which was an amazing and impressive visit this morning to the port, especially to Box Bay and Terminal 3. Really something that, even though we all, I think, we saw these things on videos, it makes a big difference when we saw it in real life. And for me, it was really impressive how the construction was built and how thin the metal is and how robust this construction obviously is. Very, very interesting. So today we are heading into technology. We have a speaker here, Brian Young is with us. A seasoned professional with over 18 years of experience as an industrial automation engineer and project manager. Brian Young has worked on various port automation projects with proven success, innovating technical front end and achieving commercial growth and objectives. Brian is a valued member of the Zodiac team. He has extensive experience with highly ITC convergent automation systems in various industrial fields. Today, Brian is the software development manager for Zodiac. I now invite Brian Young to share with us the exciting video and analytics technology Zodiac is working on for the world of ports and terminals. Brian, the stage is yours. You're looking forward.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, sorry for making a noise. I'm testing the sound generating electronic device. Okay, it looks good to me. Hi, how are you? My name is Brian. Okay. So as introduced, actually, I'm the one who's leading the development of video analytics technology, and while in the next section, we will introduce another technological branch, which we name as IoT. So, I hope you guys enjoyed some of the other innovation that you guys enjoyed in the morning. It's the hardware. And then now, actually, this part is the software. So how actually these two things can be combined together, and how this technology can innovate actually the way that we are operating our operation. I think it will be, personally, it has been very much interesting, actually knowing about this technology and then actually making some progress on the ground using this technology. And it was kind of personal pressure. And I would like to thank for this opportunity to the engineers and the developers working behind us and make these things available on here, and then actually proudly representing this solution to the general audience. So, okay, so yesterday, Mr. Paul Kim, I don't see him, by the way, but Mr. Paul Kim nicely introduced our solution, newly developed solution, which is the AGS and IoT platform. And then for today's session, we will go deeper into what is the technology in the behind and how we use it and how we're going to use it further to make the more innovation, bring more innovation into our actually honorable DP world. So while I will briefly visit about what is the deep learning, what is the deep learning based analytics or video analytics, and how much we have failed in our courses and how much we made a success in our courses. And then briefly, I will touch the part that actually how those technologies are being used in the other industry. I mean, I think that we are seeing the healthcare, healthcare, and then I think the security, safety. So a lot of good actually success cases that has been achieved, and then actually is known to us. And then after briefly visiting that, and then we will go into the why do we need it, briefly, and then actually the how those things are being used in our system, especially the AGS system, and then the AVA suite, which we are planning to roll out from the next year or this year, and then how we're going to further use these things to change our working environment. So those will be the subject that I will humbly present, and I hope you guys enjoy. So video analytics. So it goes all the way back to the 1990s, And then actually, well, the business driver of this technology was mostly motivated by the security team. So while security team was keep watching the video, and then actually over and over again, they tried to monitor what's going on. And then they are so sick and tired of keep watching on it. So they approached the engineer sitting next to him, and then they appealed to him that, yeah, please do some smart things. So it started from the 1990, and then initially it was not much, actually. Well, so our initial approach from the engineering and the technical group is that, well, they detect they use, it's called the technology called the video motion detection. So they just monitor the change of the pixel, color, or the fix, and they try to catch something. And they deployed that kind of solution in the security solution, actually the system. And then so many false alarms. So just because actually the system was a dumbass, it cannot discriminate what is the cat, what is the wild cloud, what is things, and what is the shadow. Just keep generating an alarm. And then that was the where we stuck in, and then actually we struggled to get out from those kind of actually the problems. And while we go a little more smarter, actually, in 2020, around 2000 area, and then we try to add these analytic features, enrich these analytic features with some kind of heuristic approaches. So we add a little bit more smartness on top of that, and then actually we made a little more actually improvement actually to the system. They can identify, okay, this is something not hazardous based on the rules of which is created by the human being. So now we are actually entering into the new era that with the thanks to a lot of scientists working behind, and then actually they worked very hard about this deep learning technology. So in a nutshell, video analytics is a kind of technical attempt of the human being that make the computer to mimic the way, the functionality that our eye and brain is interacting. So our eyes are actually processing, we're gathering a lot of light information, and then actually using some kind of neural cell, actually is transmitting the data to the brain, and the brain is interpreting the many information from that. So those are the basic things, and then there was a scientific group that trying to mimic those kind of things to be implemented in the computer. So that is what we call the deep learning, and it's surprisingly similar with what we are actually interpreting our world with our eyes. I mean, for this neural network, there are some multiple layers of neural network, actually like our neural system, actually with a neuron, and they have some kind of small unit called the perceptron, and this perceptron is the one who is actually processing this micro-level data, and eventually, classify and categorize it and then extract the information on the neural network. So after this actually new technology has been introduced, we made a huge progress, and then now actually is reached up to the level that revolutionizing our life. So this is the kind of trend that how much deep learning technology is changing our landscape or technical landscape, while in budget-wise is exponentially growing. So I think it is expected that until the 2027, I think while the solution revenue that is using this video technology will reach up to the $1 billion level. And then also, if you look into the second graph, actually, how rapidly the AI is evolving to reduce the error. So we are actually, now we have up to the level that actually we are actually the computer-based actually video analytics is better than human. I saw you probably read articles that where when you go to the hospital and you got the CT scan, and then the CT scan creates some kind of image, right? Those images were usually interpreted by the pediatricians and then some kind of doctors. And then our AI technology has reached up to the level that they are better than them. So they are kicking them out. All doctors are losing a job now. So these guys the AI is much better. So I think it will continue changing actually our life. in that way. And specifically, actually comparing, there are many other branches that is taking the similar approach, but actually, where deep learning based actually algorithm is making I think a promising actually output. So we also studied all these things, and we also performed the feasibility. And frankly speaking, it was not easy to acquire this solution from day one. I mean, when we start to working on this solution, we knew that this will open up our new landscape, but we didn't clearly know that how can we acquire this technology as a group asset. So we look into the different branches, and then we work with academic groups, and then eventually, we acquired a certain talent plus some knowledge inside our group, and then actually use it for our solution development. So let's look at some other industry a little bit. But obviously, safety and security is one of the area or industry area that is making where we are witnessing the huge progress. And we have reached up to the level. I think we will also use the similar kind of things in our environment. But where they can, not only is detecting the PPEs or whether they are actually who they are. Actually, now we have reached the level that we are analyzing. AI is analyzing the behavior. So whether there is a threat, or whether there is some non-threat move, or whether it is dangerous, whether it is hazardous, we have reached the level to analyze the behavior of the person on the image, and then we smartly identify the threat and then, evaluate the threat. And the data annotation technology is another technology that we are technical person frequently using. So instead of the video image, we are marking it with some kind of data on the image that we are seeing. So that is done by the AI. So this is another actually technology we are using a lot. And the quality analysis is obviously the one that is renovating the assembly line. So when you are assembling some small gadget from the part, and then you just see the defect, and then you saw amazing AI is amazing at detecting some default parts, and then some problematic part, and then generating the error in assembly line. And the medical image, I think obviously is also one of the very important area that was making a lot of progress. AI is making a lot of progress. So we see a lot of progress in the other industry. And then this is one of the examples. I think you're probably well aware of actually this kind of the smart security solution. So, I mean, we should be very cautious now actually driving the car because cameras are everywhere and then everything is on the monitor. I heard a very hilarious story in China. So they installed a big screen on the cross-section, and then they installed this AI-based camera. So whoever actually trying to pass through the cross-section with the red light, AI is identifying who he is and then broadcasting on the big screen who he is, and he's publicly humiliating. So I think it's a very interesting way of applying the technology, but it's also surprising that actually how fast the technology is moving on. So this is where I think this kind of technology now hits up to the level. This is a bad guy, this is a bad guy, and then how many